AI help you find sources if you're going to use it, and then read those sources for yourself, do your own research within it, make up your own mind, and use AI as a tool to help you clarify your understanding based on actual sources. But we're going to refer to these lists just for the organizational structure of which donors gave how much money, and then we're going to refer to the sources to get to know them just a little bit, okay? So
what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's funny because one of the other episodes I made, I think it was one from yesterday I said that because Ian Carroll said he would be going live on a Sunday or something like that to like look over all the evidence, of course, with Charlie Kirk and everything else. But I knew would happen. I think he unlisted the live or whatever. If he went live, he didn't go live on YouTube. YouTube is starting to crack down with this kind of discussion, this kind of talk. It's not even just YouTube. The straight government is starting to crack down. Right now, Candace Owens is under a lot of fire. We're going to talk about it. And I think that she's under fire because of the fact that she won't shut up about Charlie Kirk. Regardless of how people feel about her information, regardless of how people feel about her, we have to remember that we can't let them try to silence her or, put things on her, blame her for things that she has no control over. I mean, I'm very clear about how I feel about this person. I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, that's my girl, that's my friend. No, but it doesn't matter. All of that doesn't matter when the establishment is coming after you. And I do kind of feel like something is not adding up here. And we will talk about it, so we'll get there. We want to look at a little bit about what Ian Carroll is saying. Before we get right to the clip, which we are going to get right to the clip, I would start off with a thank you. I say thank you to everybody who is watching. Thank you to everybody who is commenting, liking, everything. You guys are amazing. I am grateful, and I thank God for you guys. Seriously, I do. I love making these videos. I love talking to y'all. And like I said, I'm just grateful. Please, if you're new here, if you want, please don't forget to like and subscribe and the notification bell. It definitely helps push these videos, especially with all of the stuff that's going on. They're starting to crack down, and the crackdowns are going to be coming, even faster. I know they are. So I appreciate everything that everybody does, and it is worth it to stay this long in the introduction to say thank you. Let's go ahead and get into it. Let's listen to a little bit of Ian Carroll talking about the donors that are, with TPUSA.
Who are the top 10 TPUSA donors, as best as we can tell initially? First off, the number 1 and number 2 slots on the list are basically all anonymous donor-advised funds, which is common. It's where rich people have these things set up, these organizations that are basically pass-through organizations for money. So they donate to the organization, and then the organization essentially is a black box that then donates that money to causes. And so we don't actually know who all that money is coming from, and a whole bunch of the money that TPUSA was receiving, the biggest chunk of the donations was coming through these anonymous donor-advised funds. And the Bradley Impact Fund, as best as I can understand, is just another anonymous donor-advised fund, basically, more or less, that really fits into the same category as number 2 here. So, number 3, Bernie Marcus, the Marcus Foundation, $4.6 million plus donated from 2015 to 2024, with extensive links to Israel. This is Bernie Marcus. He has passed away in 2024. He has donated to all sorts of things like the Blood Center in Israel, between 2002 to 2012, according to Powerbase, which is where they track charitable donations and charitable organizations and such, nonprofits, etc. From 2002 to 2012, the foundation donated $3 million plus to the Friends of the Israeli Defense Forces. Marx is also the founder of the Israel Democracy Institute. His profile on the homepage describes the IDI as their focus as being Jewish causes, children, medical research, free enterprise, and the community. In the final political donation recorded publicly before his death, according to the Times of Israel, made in July, Marcus gave $1 million to the United Democracy Project, a campaign fundraising group affiliated with the pro-Israel lobby AIPAC, which Marcus has supported since its creation in 2022. The Marcus Foundation makes legacy $60 million investment in Route 1 to revamp how American Jews tackle the crisis of anti-Semitism. With this investment, the Marcus Foundation has given a total of $140 million in grants to Route 1 since its founding in 2020. In partnership with dozens of youth-serving organizations, camps, and communities, Route 1 has made it possible for tens of thousands of teens to experience meaningful, fun, and safe travel to Israel. This is according to prnewswire.com. So, let's be clear. This is a fine line. It's complicated. American Jewish people are welcome to donate to whatever they want to donate to.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
It's their right. They are welcome within the bounds of the law to use their money how they want to use their money. Freedom of speech, right? But it's a little hypocritical when we see over and over again, as we are about to, that these Jewish billionaires, not like the average regular Jewish people. Average regular Jewish people are a whole other thing. They're just regular people for the most part, right? And some of them are pro-Israel and some of them are anti-Israel. That's a whole different thing. Jewish billionaires, the kinds of people that become billionaires, usually not the greatest of people. Jewish billionaires over and over and over again will be Americans that dedicate their entire lives to donating money to a foreign government, to supporting a foreign government, to supporting a foreign military, to even serving in a foreign military, to supporting all this shit for Israel. But not a whole lot over here, unless it's Turning Point USA and other organizations that will actually turn America to supporting Israel.
So here's the thing. People can donate to whatever they want to donate to. I mean, clear, like, if you make your money, boss, do whatever you want with your money, right? But let's be clear. And here's the other thing. I'm going to even take it a step further. American Jewish billionaires, if they want to love Israel more than they love America, well, if that's the case, then that's their prerogative. They're going to do it anyway. So what can I say? I can't tell somebody how to feel. By the way, that is considered some sort of like bad speech. But me as a Haitian, always remember, like I was born here in America, but of course I'm Haitian by blood. I always made sure to make the point to say I am America first. Even when I was running for Senate, I said, please question me on my loyalty to America so I can prove to you that I am loyal to America, because I believe as an elected official, that is my job to prove to my representatives that I'm loyal to, the people I represent, that I'm loyal to them first, okay? So I don't see where the hate is in that, but they were saying there's something about hate. I don't know. I just don't see where the hate is in that. I don't. But my thing is like you, and just for the sake of me not getting this channel banned just for saying that, in general, if a person wants to love another country more than this country, I mean, I don't think it's great. I really don't promote it. I don't. But, I can't stop it, right? But don't trample on my rights for that country. That's where I have the problem, because we're taking on all of these, different definitions and stuff like that. Not only are we doing that to suppress people from speaking in a country that's supposed to have a First Amendment that actually says you can say whatever ugly speech you want to say. I may not like it, but we can't shut it down. Now you have people who are in power who are shutting down people's futures simply because they don't, support that blue star state nation over there. Right? And that's a problem. That's a problem. So now you're using your money to, you're imposing on the sovereignty of Americans. And that is a problem. That's number one. And number two, not only are you doing that, now, of course, you're funding huge organizations that are going into schools and all of that to tell people in some fashion that they have to support Blue Star Nation over there. Right? And it's like, well, So now you also are funding propaganda to, again, distract, confuse, whatever, people of a sovereign nation. We need to be worried about America first, okay? And they'll even tell you that, oh, it is, because you're Christian, you want Blue Star State to win. And no. Again, we reject Christian Zionism in every form, no matter whose mouth it's coming out of, okay? So there's that. So that's what my issue is. Other than that, people can do whatever they want, I don't care, but come on. So that's my issue. But haven't we seen, we were not supposed to be in Iraq, but we were, right? I mean, how many people, the fact that, we talk about, and these people, and we're going to go to the next stuff, but we talk about these people like, oh, we love our veterans. Well, do we? Because why do we keep getting them involved in wars? Why do we keep getting our service men and women involved in wars that they don't have any business being in? Why did Colonel Douglas McGregor say out loud with his own mouth, he's the one who said that we have troops in Syria as tripwires for Israel? So somebody's son and daughter, and we saw that happen at Al-Tanf. I could go on forever. I truly can. But listen, at Al-Tanf base, this was when Joe Biden was president. 3 soldiers were killed. Everybody forgets that. I remember. But this was around, when all of the Gaza and everything was really starting and everything else. 3 soldiers were killed in Al-Tanf, and they were trying to blame it on, I think, Assad or whatever, whoever they tried to blame it on, they were like, oh, we're going to avenge our troops. They were trying to blame it on Iran. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, here we go. We're going to go to war with Iran. And Iran didn't even do it. And then all of a sudden you didn't hear anything about it. Iran didn't do it. If I have my guess, it probably was ISIS. Who created ISIS and for what? Once again, that's America creating, and it is important. I know I'm still here talking. It is important that we know this stuff. America created ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and all of that to serve for purposes of proxying destruction in the Middle East for Blue Star State. Okay, let's move on.
It makes me sick that they think we're this dumb. 85% of Gaza has been destroyed. In this pre-planned, controlled demolition of Gaza, Bibi Netanyahu is on camera explicitly before October 7th saying we need to hit them so hard that they can't come back. Jared Kushner is involved in, he will financially benefit from whatever they build in its place. Again, all of this began before October 7th.
There is a concerted effort to make Candace Owens look like she's absolutely insane because of what she said in that clip. Oh, she's being conspiratorial. She doesn't know what she's talking about. But it looks like Candace Owens was onto something when she made those statements, because according to reports in Israeli media, which is what I like to read, Jared Kushner, Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, and Oracle's Larry Ellison are planning to turn Gaza into a haven for billionaires.
He doesn't really care. So I'm not going to say too stuck on, well, I mean, it's all connected, right? And there's a reason why we talk about it, right? Because, well, when you look at TPUSA, where Charlie Kirk was, regardless if the letter was real or not, which I think the letter was real, okay? I do think the letter was real because he was still trying to figure out how he could maneuver this thing where he supports Israel, but can still, be himself. And there's no such a thing when you're involved in that kind of thing, with the donors and everything. You see these donors. I mean, you see it's all about Israel, right? So this is the kind of stuff that was being promoted when Charlie Kirk was telling people that there was no famine and everything in Gaza and all of that, and I think a lot of he got railroaded into it and started probably asking questions. It is for us to be okay with the kind of things that are happening over there. And yes, Candace Owens was talking about it. So now there's this concerted effort to basically like call Candace Owens almost, you could say, like a murderer. I mean, So apparently there was some creep and we disavow violence, who was, what they're saying is threatening, or there are some creeps who are threatening, these American Jewish people, and we disavow that regardless of Zionists or whatever. Seth Dillon to say he's not Jewish, but I don't know. I think, whatever. So we disavow that. And that's the 5th time. And so he says the man who was just arrested for threatening to end me because he believed I was involved in Charlie's dropping, followed these 5 accounts on X and supposedly only these 5 accounts. And so Candace Owens is one of them. And I've been seeing people really like saying this. Brett Cooper has basically a response for people who want her to stop being friends with people like Candace Owens and Matt Walsh. And she even said Ben Shapiro.
I will not stop being friends with Candace Owens, who has become like a big sister to me because the internet demands it. I will not attack Matt just because I no longer work with him or because the internet has decided to pile on to him for the 27th millionth time. I also will not pile on to attacks on Ben Shapiro's character because he was nothing but kind and supportive of me during my time at Daily Wire.
Well, that's pretty cool. Like, you know what, whatever, right? Like, I'm certainly not the one who's going to be like, oh, you need to like disavow Ben Shapiro. Like, come on, we are adults, okay? So we're not doing that. I'm not mad at that at all. I don't want that. We are rational on this channel. If we're not anything else, we certainly are rational. But the thing is that people like us, right? You know, those of you watching, shout out to y'all, because if y'all are watching and loving I love y'all comments, right? We know that, you know, we have to be rational, but not only just we have to be rational, it's like we just are. You know? We're just rational people asking questions and trying to figure out why things aren't working out the way they're supposed to be. But anyway, right? But it's funny because that other side, whatever that other side is, they're giving Brett Cooper a hard time. There's, I don't know, Mikhail Olsen, probably another one who was saying, I think this one was saying who Candace was bad or whatever. There's a difference between remaining friends with someone versus refusing to acknowledge their behavior. Ben's behavior has been honest, consistent, and conservative. Okay, pretty sure this guy is all about Blue Star State, whoever he is, right? The same cannot be said about others at this time. We also have to remember that a good friend speaks uncomfortable truth. I hope she's having moments of honesty with Candace, particularly about her insanity. She claims to be such good friends with her, if she claims to be such good friends with her, right? So like now Brett Cooper's gotten pulled into the mix. I'm just going to end it here, and I will be back to talk about this situation that's going on here. But anyway, guys, I will be back. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye.